Chapter 14. Arith, the Sword. Arith ordered the two of her remaining men to stand down. I like strong men. They're suitable for a strong woman like myself. Change your fate and stand by me as my equal, she proposed. Ven responded quickly. No thank you, he said, refusing to join a group of people who assassinate people for no logical reason. Fine, then perish by my hand, she responded. She pulled out a mean-looking black sword. She flipped it several times before pointing it at Ven, and then forming a stance. This sword slices through all matter. Everyone who has seen it no longer exists. As Ven and Arith stood in their starting positions, a calm wind blew, dragging leaves across the luminous sky as clouds slowly covered the area. Rain started to pour, and a slow sight of a raindrop could be seen hitting the ground when they both vanished from their spots. The battle had begun. They clashed their weapons, but she cut through Ven's blade like butter. Seriously? She can cut through dimensions, he thought to himself. I know that it's in the form of a dagger, but it contains a universe within it, and she sliced through it. He sighed and created another one. So I can't block her attacks or parry without getting injured. This is troublesome, he thought. Ven went on the defensive. Arith tried to cut Ven down, but he dodged, effectively trying to counter every chance that he got. Their slashes and dodges became more and more accurate, to the point where the blades they had been swinging could no longer be seen. They had been clearing a circular portion of the space around them. Not a single raindrop had reached the ground so long as they swung their blades. I need to find a way to get that blade out of her hand, he planned. How long are you going to run away like a coward? You're just delaying the inevitable, handsome, said Arith. She went to slash at Ven. He dodged the blade, vanishing behind her. Ven went to attack her when he saw the blade being swung at his neck. How did she know I would do that? I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do that yet. Maybe she just has fast reflexes. He dodged the blade quickly as it was inches away from his neck, shaving off some of his hair to indicate how close the blade had been to his neck. She went to attack him again, but he dodged easily. Ven went to sweep her from below, but before he could even try, the blade was being swung toward the ground. There it is again. She must have some type of sensory ability, he figured. Ah, so you've caught on. This is why I'm valued within the Reality Corps as one of its top members, she explained. My superior technique is called cross-dimensional awareness. With this reality technique, I'm able to foresee your movements within different realities and execute my attack accordingly, she explained. Jeez, why do I always have to meet the overpowered people? He said in misery. Ven and Arith had been fighting for the entire day in that reality. The two men had fallen asleep multiple times and only woke up after the impact of the fighting. Their attacks had destroyed the landscapes around them frequently. Ven dodged every attack and attempted to make a retaliating slash as a counter, but it had been easily avoided by Arith. Ven admired her sword skills. He could feel the passion in every one of her swings. He knew that if he had been cut by the blade, it would be fatal. Ven used the power of his white ring. He used it to speed up time on his body to be able to reach physics-defying speeds. The only downside to this technique was that he'd be granted unimaginable speed in exchange for his lifespan being shortened by 300 seconds per hour, or 5 minutes per hour. This was a life-or-death situation, so Ven had no worries about the consequences. With this power, Ven instantly appeared behind Arith within one step. She had no time to react, even though she could see the events of another reality. It was just too fast for her brain to keep up. She turned around to try and protect herself, but Ven aimed at the sword. He punched her forearm, breaking it and disarming her with the sword. He went to grab it. Ugh, it's so heavy. How does she swing this so effortlessly? He trapped the sword in one of his pocket dimensions, ensuring that she had no access to it. It was a very dangerous weapon, and if she got her hands on it, he would lose before long. Arith held her arm as she walked toward Ven. She then healed her arm. If you think that I am without hands in the absence of my sword, you're a fool, she said confidently. The weapon is only a type of metal that's been sharpened to perfection. I am the sword. Have you ever been beaten up by a woman? She asked in a cocky manner. Nope, said Ven. She responded sarcastically while throwing her hands in a position as if she had been holding a sword. There's a first time for everything. Trust me, this blade is more troublesome than the metal that you stored away. Witness my might. She rushed at Ven while performing a knife hand strike, starting toward her forehead. then slicing her hand diagonally at Ven. He swung the blade in an attempt to cut her hand off. To his surprise, the blade had stopped after making contact with her hand. "What in the world?" said Ven in surprise. She had been strong enough to withstand the force of the blade. She had truly been the blade. They both backed away, several feet apart. Ven destroyed the blade, taking a fighting stance. "All right, let's end this," Ven said. "I like the sound of that. I'll get serious." Arith took on a weird stance and raised her voice. There was a sudden calm as the rain stopped. She raised her hands as if she were holding an actual blade. "Manifest! Sigil 1, Yasuke. Sigil 2, Nobunaga. Final sigil, Musashi. Vanquish all subjects identified as my enemies.